Hello, my karmically connected friend. There is a brief sacred moment at dawn, right before the phone rings, and before the noisy world outside steals your peace. It is not just time to wake up, but a golden door for you to reset your entire mind. Remember a powerful law of consciousness. Your thoughts shape your energy, and energy shapes your reality. How you start your morning will determine the entire flow of that day. So I want to ask you an important question. What is the first thing you say to yourself every morning? Is it a weary complaint or a greeting full of hope? Today, join me in sowing 5 wise affirmations to awaken your inner strength. Part 1. I am here. I am alive. This moment is enough. The first affirmation, and also the most solid foundation of all peace, is I am here. I am alive. And this moment is enough. Usually, as soon as we open our eyes, our mind has a habit of rushing toward the future. We immediately think of the long to-do list, the office pressures waiting, or the things we lack. We unconsciously start the day with a mindset of lack and anxiety, as if we are being chased by life even before leaving the bed. But the wisdom of awakening reminds us of a simple yet profound truth, that the past is just a dream gone by. The future is just an illusion yet to come. Only this present moment is the only truth you can grasp. If you miss this sacred waking moment, you are missing life itself. Therefore, tomorrow morning, I invite you to perform a small but powerful ritual. When the morning light touches your eyes, please do not rush to jump up like a machine or grab the phone. Allow yourself to open your eyes slowly, welcoming the new day with gentleness. Gently place your hand on your heart and listen. Can you feel the warm and persistent beat there? That is the most miraculous sound of the universe, a reminder that you are still gifted with the most precious gift, which is life. Take a deep breath, feel the cool air entering your chest, nourishing every waking cell. Be deeply conscious that as long as you are breathing, as long as your heart is beating, it means you already have all the basic conditions to be happy right now. You do not need to achieve any more accomplishments. Do not need to become anyone else to have the right to feel complete. Fullness does not begin with what you possess externally, but begins with your very breath and complete presence right here. Whisper to yourself with all gratitude and determination, I am here. I am alive. This moment is complete. When you anchor your mind in this steadfast present, all the illusory pressures of tomorrow will vanish, giving way to a source of calm energy for you to step into the new day. Part 2. Nothing external can disturb my peace. Once you have anchored yourself firmly in the breath of the present, continue to equip your mind with the second protective shield using this powerful affirmation. Nothing outside can disturb my peace unless I allow it. My dear friend, let us honestly look back at how we usually operate our emotions every day. Are we living with an illusion that our happiness depends entirely on the weather of the outside world? We tell ourselves, today will be a wonderful day if the sun shines beautifully, if there is no traffic jam, and if the boss is not grumpy. Unintentionally, we turn ourselves into puppets and generously hand over the emotional control strings to anyone passing through our lives. A blaring car horn, an urgent work email, or an insensitive remark from a colleague. Any small thing is strong enough to pull the string, making us jump up in anger or sink deep into sadness. We let the environment determine the destiny of a day. But the wisdom of awakening reveals to us a liberating truth. The event happening is one thing, but your reaction to that event is a completely different matter. Suffering never comes from circumstances. Suffering comes from the mind's unconscious reaction to those circumstances. Imagine a very everyday example that perhaps you will encounter this very morning. Suppose you are driving to work and get stuck hard in the flow of people during rush hour. That is the objective truth. Situation. The fact that cars stop does not carry suffering in itself. It is just the reality taking place. But if at that moment you start gripping the steering wheel tightly, your heart beats fast, your mouth complains, your mind blames city planning or the slowness of others, then that is the reaction. Reaction. It is that hot-tempered reaction that burns up energy and destroys your peace, not that stream of vehicles. Or in the office environment, when someone offers harsh criticism. If you immediately open the door of your soul, accept those words, let them pierce your heart, and torment yourself all day. Why did they treat me like that? Then you have voluntarily drunk the cup of poison that another offered. This affirmation reminds you to reclaim ultimate sovereignty. You are the gatekeeper of your soul's house. You have the right and the responsibility to decide who or what is allowed to enter. You can absolutely see the storm outside, hear the thunder and lightning, but you choose to close the window, light a candle, and keep the room inside warm and still. This morning, promise yourself a firm commitment. No matter how noisy the world is today, I will not hand over control of my emotions to external circumstances. Instead of an explosive reaction like an old habit, choose a pause. Choose to smile, step back, and observe. Remember, inner peace is your most precious asset. Do not sell it cheap in exchange for petty arguments or fleeting dissatisfactions. You hold the key to happiness. Please do not hand it into the hands of others. Part 3. I will treat myself with compassion, not judgment. After having built a solid fortress, protecting the mind from the outside world, now is the time we need to carry out the most important reconciliation of our lives, the reconciliation with ourselves. The third affirmation, a gentle healing remedy yet with the power to change your destiny, is, today I will treat myself with compassion, not judgment. My dear friend, take a minute to look honestly. Who is the strictest person with you in this world? Who never forgives you for any mistake? Who always whispers the most cruel contempt into your ear every time you stumble? The answer is not your boss, not your parents, and not the envious people outside. That person, sadly, is often the small voice inside your head. We have an extremely toxic psychological habit deeply ingrained in the subconscious. As soon as you accidentally mess up something, even a minor one, an automatic mechanism triggers inner scolding. Why am I so clumsy? I am useless. Why do I always ruin everything? We torment ourselves over missed opportunities from 10 years ago. We stand in front of the mirror and criticize our bodies for being old and ugly. We compare our weaknesses with the glamour of others, only to find ourselves miserable. We unintentionally become the cruelest judge, condemning our own soul to life imprisonment in the jail of an inferiority complex. But try to imagine this situation. If you had a best friend, and every day that person followed you closely just to say exactly the same disparaging, critical, and contemptuous words that you say to yourself, could you tolerate that person? Would you want to keep that relationship? Certainly not. You would consider them a mental abuser and try every way to avoid them. So why, my beloved friend, do you accept coexisting with, or even nurturing, that abuser right within your own mind every day. The Buddha, the great master of love, taught about metta, loving kindness, unconditional love. And he emphasized a truth we often forget. The first and most important person who deserves your love and compassion is none other than yourself. There is a fatal misunderstanding that self-compassion is selfishness, indulgence, or condoning the bad. That is completely untrue. Judgment is like a jailer lashing you with a whip, forcing you forward through fear and pain. This way might make you move fast for a while, but then you will become exhausted and collapse. Compassion, on the other hand, is like a wise teacher, a forgiving mother. When you fall, that mother doesn't scold, but reaches out to help you up, dusts you off, and encourages, "You did well, be more careful next time." That is the most sustainable motivation for you to grow. You need to understand that. You are human, and no human is perfect. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to stumble. You are allowed to have weak and tired days. That is not a sin. That is an essential part of the human experience. Instead of punishing yourself for imperfections, learn to embrace them. Morning metta practice. To change the habit of self-criticism that has been carved into a rut in the brain, I invite you to perform this emotional transformation exercise this morning. This is how we reprogram the language of love. Whenever you notice a negative or judgmental thought about yourself appearing, follow this 3-step process. Step 1. Stop and connect. Immediately say, "Stop." Place your right hand on your left chest, where the heart is beating. This physical contact will send a signal of safety to the nervous system, soothing the tension. Step 2. Change the language. Replace the criticism with a word of understanding. Instead of saying, "I am terrible," say, "I am in the process of learning. I have done my best." Instead of saying, "I am weak because I cried," say, "This emotion is normal. I allow myself to release it to feel lighter." Step 3. Send good wishes, metta meditation. Close your eyes and dedicate a minute of silence to send yourself the 3 ancient prayers of metta meditation. Read slowly and feel every word seep into your heart. May I be peaceful, happy, and light. May I be free from suffering, illness, and worries. May I know how to love and accept myself completely as I am. Treat yourself the way you cherish a child learning to walk, or care for a dear friend who is injured. You cannot pour water from an empty cup. You cannot truly love your spouse, children, parents, or life if inside you is a ruin of self-hatred. This morning, establish a sacred covenant with your heart. No judgment will be allowed to hurt me today. Only understanding and love will lead the way. When you know how to be gentle with yourself, you will be amazed to realize that the whole world suddenly becomes much gentler with you too. Part 4. Everything I need is already within me. Let us move to the 4th affirmation. This is the golden key that helps liberate you from the heaviest psychological burden of modern humans: scarcity and the habit of comparison. That affirmation is, "Everything I need to be happy and complete is already within me." My dear friend, try to observe very slowly the morning habits of yourself and those around you. Is it true that for many people, the first action immediately upon opening their eyes is not breathing or smiling, but reaching for the phone? In the dim light of dawn, we begin to scroll. We scroll through social media feeds filled with the glittering images of others. An old friend just promoted to director, a family enjoying a luxurious vacation in Europe, or someone showing off a newly bought house. Those images, whether unintentional or intentional, sow a toxic seed in our hearts. That is the feeling of lack. A small but powerful voice rings out in our heads. Why is their life so brilliant, while I am struggling like this? I am not good enough. I am lacking too many things. And so, even before our feet touch the ground to start the new day, our soul has shrunk in an inferiority complex. We step out of the house with the mindset of a spiritual beggar. We rush to work, earn money, shop, accumulate fame, essentially just to fill the deep pit of lack in our hearts. We believe that happiness is something that lies outside, in the future, and we must run very fast to catch up with it. But the wisdom of the Buddha, and of all ancient enlightened ones, enlightens us with a shocking truth, a truth completely contrary to what society is stuffing into your head. You are not an empty cup waiting for the world to fill. You are a spring source. To understand this truth, I want to invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and visualize with me this beautiful metaphor. Imagine your soul is like an ancient and precious lantern. Inside that lantern, there is always a fire burning. It is the fire of Buddha nature, of the inherent kind, clear, and complete essence. That fire contains the seed of wisdom to solve every problem, the seed of compassion to heal every pain, and the seed of resilience to overcome every storm. Most importantly, that fire has never gone out. It is eternal, your root energy source. However, through the years of ups and downs of life, through childhood traumas, career failures, and even the prejudices that society imposes, the glass surrounding that lantern has been covered with thick layers of dust. The dust of fear, the dust of self-doubt, the dust of greed and jealousy. That dust is so thick that the light inside cannot shine out. And when looking at your dark lantern, you panic and mistakenly think, "My light is out. I am a dark, weak person." So you take that lantern and run everywhere, begging others, "Please give me some light. Praise me, love me, recognize me so I can feel I have value." But my dear friend, you do not need more light from anyone. You also do not need to strive to become another version of someone else. The only and most sacred thing you need to do is to return and wipe away the dust on your own lantern. When you are willing to sit still, be quiet, and connect deeply with yourself, the dust will fall off. And when the glass becomes transparent, the brilliant light from within will automatically radiate, illuminating your path and warming those around you. You will realize you have never lacked anything. The peace you seek lies not in a new car, not in a bank account balance, nor in the boss's praise. It lies in your own ability to feel enough. When you realize you already have all the necessary qualities to be happy, you will stop playing the victim. You will step out into the world not to demand, but to share the abundance of your soul. Practical exercise. Inner treasure. Journal to engrave this powerful affirmation into your consciousness. This morning, I invite you to perform a small exercise replacing the habit of scrolling through your phone. Let's call it the Inner Treasure Journal. Spend 3 minutes, take a notebook or note in your phone, and write down 3 things that you possess. But note, not external material assets, but inner assets. Instead of writing, "I have a beautiful house," try looking deeper and write, "I have the patience that helped me listen to my children yesterday. I have a sensitive heart that knows how to vibrate before the beauty of an early blooming flower. I have skillful hands and a creative mind that always finds solutions. I have the ability to self-heal and stand up after stumbles. Every line you write down is a wipe of the cloth clearing the blur of dust on your mind. It is a fierce reminder that you are much richer than you think. Carry this mindset of fullness into the new day. When you believe you have enough, you will no longer fear loss. You will work, will love, will live with absolute freedom. Because you know the real treasure does not lie at the destination. It lies right in your pocket. Part 5. Today, let me be the source of peace. We have completed a long journey together to cultivate inner strength. From learning to be present, mastering emotions, to loving ourselves and realizing self-sufficiency. Now, as the lantern inside you has been wiped clean, as the fire of the loving heart has been warmly lit, it is time for us to fulfill our highest mission. We no longer keep that light just for ourselves. We bring it out to the world. The 5th affirmation, also the most beautiful prayer for a new day, is, "Today, let me be the source of peace. Let me be the cause of peace today." My dear friend, observe our mindset every time we step out the door. Normally, we carry the mindset of someone waiting and demanding. We hope the world today will be gentle with us. We pray for no traffic jams. Pray the boss is cheerful. Pray the vendor is welcoming. Pray the children are obedient. We play the role of an energy consumer. And if the world fails to meet that expectation, we become disappointed and frustrated. But this affirmation is a revolution in consciousness. It completely reverses your position. You are no longer the one begging for peace from the world. You become the creator of peace for the world. Imagine you are a lighthouse standing amidst the open sea. You cannot control whether the sea is calm or stormy today, whether the sky is clear or cloudy, but you can absolutely control whether you stand firm and shine. Your light not only illuminates your own path, but also brings reassurance, direction, and hope to other ships adrift in the current of life. Energy is the most contagious thing. Science calls it resonance, and Buddhism calls it the interaction of karma. A sincere smile from you in the morning can save someone else's bad day. Conversely, your unwarranted anger can trigger a chain reaction of irritation that spreads to dozens of people. Understanding this power, you will see how great and sacred your responsibility is. So, how to become the source of peace in the most specific way? Join me in bringing this spirit of metta, loving kindness, into 3 ordinary contexts you will surely encounter. Context 1. In the family. Transforming chaos into love. Morning is often the easiest time for war to break out in families. Children whine and refuse to wake up. Milk is spilled all over the table. Your partner is slow, making you late for work. What is our natural reflex? Shouting, urging, or a frowning face etched with annoyance. At that moment, you are becoming the source of stress. But today, with this affirmation in your heart, try doing things differently. When you see the spilled milk, pause for 3 seconds. Take a deep breath. Instead of sowing fear into the child, choose to sow calmness. Smile. Sit down at their eye level and say gently, "It's okay. It's just a small accident. Let mom/dad help you clean it up." In that moment, you are not just wiping away a puddle of milk. You are wiping away the fear in the child's soul. You are teaching the child a lesson about tolerance and calmness in the face of adversity, a lesson more valuable than any book knowledge. When you are peaceful, the whole house will be enveloped in a magnetic field of stability. That is the most precious spiritual legacy you leave for your loved ones. Context 2. In public places, turning waiting into blessing. Stepping out, you will face greater challenges: gridlocked traffic, smoke and dust, honking horns, or long winding queues at the supermarket or elevator. This is when impatience easily consumes us. We see those around us as obstacles hindering our progress. This is the golden opportunity to practice metta meditation in action. Instead of honking loudly or grimacing at the awkward cashier, look at the back of the person in front. Be conscious that, just like you, they are also tired, they also have worries, they also want to get home early. Silently send them a blessing. May you have a good day. May you be peaceful. May you get home safely. It may sound strange, but when you shift your intention from annoyance to a blessing, your body will immediately relax. Your gaze will become gentle, and miraculously, the person who receives that look, even a stranger, will feel the goodwill. They might smile back at you, or at least the tension in that space will subside. You have just turned a meaningless moment of waiting into a moment of sowing merit. Context 3. At work, listening instead of fighting. At the workplace, you may encounter colleagues under great pressure, difficult customers, or an angry boss. They might raise their voice, criticize, or place blame. At this moment, do not become a mirror reflecting their negativity. If they throw fire at you, don't throw fire back, as that will only create a massive fire that consumes everything. Become a cool lake. Practice the virtue of deep listening. Look through the harsh words to see a person who is suffering, uneasy, and crying out for understanding. Sometimes, you don't need to solve the problem immediately. Just an empathetic look, a respectful silence, and a gentle statement. I understand you are having difficulties. Let's find a way to resolve this together. That alone is enough. You have extinguished the fire of anger. You have turned a potential conflict into an opportunity for connection and understanding. My dear friend, Buddhism teaches the principle of interbeing. We do not exist independently like separate islands. Your happiness is intimately linked to the happiness of those around you. You cannot have a completely peaceful day if everyone around you is suffering and angry. Therefore, becoming the source of peace is not an act of charity for others, but the wisest way to protect yourself. When you bring peace to life, peace will automatically return, filling your heart, multiplying manifold. That is the beautiful law of cause and effect of emotions. Every gentle word, every patient gesture, every kind thought you give today are ripples spreading out into the ocean of life. You may not change the whole world, but you can absolutely change someone's world today with your peace. Invitation to interact. Before we close this energetic morning journey, I want to invite you to make a small commitment that carries great power. An action to confirm to the universe that you are ready to undertake this mission. Leave a comment below this video with the phrase, "Today, I choose to spread peace." When you write down this phrase, you are sending a strong signal to your subconscious, anchoring this good intention as the guiding principle for all actions today. And don't just write for yourself. Take a little more time to read the comments of other karmically connected people. Drop a heart, or send a wish back to them. Let's turn our comments section into a river of positive energy, where we support and empower each other. Together, we not only have a good day, but we are jointly building a more peaceful world, starting from the soul of each person. My dear friend, we have walked together through 5 affirmations to reset the mind for a new day. Before you leave this video to step out into the world, I want to tell you an important thing. Transformation always unfolds slowly. Do not expect that after just one morning, all anxiety will disappear forever, or your mind will immediately become immutable before storms. The mind is like a garden. Seeds of wisdom need time, water, and light every day to sprout. There will be days you forget these promises. There will be times old anger returns. That is completely normal. Do not judge yourself. The important thing is that you always remember the way back. Let's take a deep breath one last time and anchor these 5 precious gems deep into the heart. I am here. I am alive. This moment is enough. Nothing outside can disturb my peace. I treat myself with compassion, not judgment. Everything I need is already within me. Today, I choose to be the source of peace. Carry these 5 mantras with you like an amulet. You can write them on sticky notes on the mirror, set them as phone wallpaper, or simply recite them every time you stop at a red light. And if during the day, there is a moment when life becomes too noisy, causing you to lose balance, remember that you always have a safe refuge right under your nose: the breath. Just one deep, mindful breath. Inhale, mind is still. Exhale, mouth smiles. Just that one breath is enough to bring you back to your inner home, resetting order and clarity.